Hello everybody, this is Elham from Skin Chakra, and today I'm going to talk to you about one of my favorite ingredients that I think it is underrated and underused in personal care, and that is the humble allantoin. Long before allantoin was known as a component or as a standalone ingredient, in folk medicine and since at least the 16th century, comfrey root and black salsify has been used for the wound healing properties. Then allantoin was separated as a standalone ingredient from comfrey root in 1912. It's exactly 110 years now, by a British physician, C.J. McAllister. McAllister has even written a book about comfrey and its medicinal properties. The book was released for the first time in 1936. I have a copy of this book, and you can't find a reprint or later editions of the book even on Amazon, I think. It's a very small pamphlet actually, not a real book, but there are references to its medicinal properties and uses. This is an extract from a scientific article from 1937. It goes about application of the allantoin in wound healing, but the extract and the juice of the article is allantoin has been found to have the same effects on surgical wounds as maggots, namely the removal of infected material. Another interesting article in a medical journal was referred to allantoin and McAllister, and they have applied allantoin on explosion wounds, and the extract and juice is again, it not only stimulates epithelial growth, but it cleans up slouching surfaces in a most remarkable fashion. So allantoin has been around since about 100 years as an ingredient and has been used, but it is really underrated and underused in personal care. Allantoin has this unpronounceable chemical name that I will not take your time to pronounce it, but its Inky name, or its rather common name known, is allantoin. Even as a cosmetic ingredient, it is known as allantoin. And naturally, it is found in comfrey roots, other plants such as beet juice, maize silk, wheat embryo, horse chestnut, and other plants. Allantoin, what you perhaps don't know is that all of the allantoin used in cosmetic industry and the pharmaceutical industry is synthetic. You cannot find, to this point, maybe in the future it is available and it is possible, but to this point, at the moment that I'm recording this presentation, you cannot find 1 gram of commercial allantoin for cosmetic application derived naturally. So it is a synthetic ingredient derived from urea and glycolic acid that the reaction causes to allantoin. Despite what you may find on some halal pages or some vegan blogs and guides, allantoin is not derived from cow urine. I read it with my own eyes on a halal page and a vegan website. I cannot remember which ones they were, but I wrote it with my own 2 eyes that they recommend don't use allantoin because it is derived from cow's urine. Allantoin is not derived from cow's urine or from anybody's urine. It is completely synthetic. So let's go to its properties. Some of them are perhaps familiar to you and some of them are not. Allantoin has moisture retention properties, has keratolytic properties, anti-inflammatory, of course, is very famous for that, skin regeneration, wound healing, and protecting against radiation. That's both the UV radiation that we are exposed to every day and the radiation in the radiotherapy. It is a very fine white powder, really like flour, very fine, and it has a limited solubility in water. These are some solvents: water, ethanol, 5% glycerin, propylene glycol, and 50% isopropyl alcohol. And you can see the solubility at 20 degrees and at higher degrees for water, for example. What you may find on some websites and blogs, again, as people complain that allantoin has a low solubility, some self-named experts recommend that heat the water and increase the temperature and then add allantoin. That will actually not much help you, because the product is going to come back to room temperature at the end, and if you apply lots of allantoin at a higher temperature, let's say in a toner or in a shampoo, you can incorporate higher concentration of allantoin by heating your water phase, but when the product and the water phase and the whole product come to lower temperature and to room temperature, then the allantoin will crystallize and will sediment. So it is really not recommendable. Allantoin has a limited solubility in water, but that's perfectly okay. It works magic even at a low dosage between 0.1 to 0.2%. We don't recommend using it in water-based formulations such as a toner at a concentration higher than 0.2%. At 0.2, it remains stable even in the fridge, even when the product is exposed to colder temperatures such as transport, for example, or if the consumer puts the product in the fridge, what some of consumers do, then it will remain stable and will not sediment. Allantoin is used in leave-on products and in rinse-off products. Maybe you can remember that about 10-15 years ago, urea was used at high dosage only in pharmaceutical products. It was OTC or even considered drug, and it was not available for the public easily. Then it changed, and some of the brands started using urea. You can still find some moisturizers and specifically food products, food cream and emulsions with 10% urea. Allantoin has those properties of urea with much less potent scent. Urea has a kind of harsh scent. Allantoin has all of those properties, but it doesn't sting, and it is much milder. So where you can use urea, you can use allantoin, but it is much more pleasant to use allantoin. And to be honest, it is much more elegant. So you can use it in hair and scalp products, specifically scalp products. Whenever you are using a scalp product such as hair mask or scalp mask or hair growth serum or scalp serum, you really need to use allantoin in it. Skincare, all kind of skincare products, baby care, oral hygienic, intimate care, and shaving and aftershave products. The application dosage is 0.1 to 2% usually, but as I mentioned, since its water solubility is very limited, if you are only using a product such as toner that is composed of one water phase, then you shall not increase the dosage more than 0.2%. What you perhaps do not know, if you have not used any of our sample formulations and remade it, is that allantoin, although it is water soluble, you can apply it even in balms and waterless products. It is very easily dispersed in the oil phase. So if you apply it in a balm, and I'm going to show you a sample formulation at the end, it will, you can apply much higher dosage with ease, because it is very fine, and it is very easily dispersed in the oil phase. So when you have body melts, lotion bars, balms, you can apply up to really 2% allantoin with ease. It has a stability between a pH of 4 to 8, and when you add it to a product, the temperature must be lower than 80. If you exceed that temperature, or if you go to a lower pH or a higher pH, allantoin will degrade to urea, and that is when you smell that typical urea smell. So you need to, when you are adding it to a formulation, you need to take care of the pH and measure the pH before adding it, and be sure that the temperature is lower than 80 degrees. Here is a compact formulation guide. In cold process emulsions, you can add allantoin at any stage. In hot process emulsions, add it, check the pH and check the temperature. You can add it even to the finished emulsion if you are working in a low viscosity emulsion, so you can add it during the cool down. And water-based products, you can add it at any stage when you don't heat your water phase. In shampoo, shower gels, if you are using a gum that you heat your water phase, then add it at the end together with the surfactant phase. If you are doing cold process, you can add it from the beginning, but take care of the pH again. In balms and butters, you can add it as the product comes to a trace, so it is almost room temperature, or in any case about lower than 30 degrees. You can even apply it in powders such as cleansing powders, eyeshadow, blush, and you can add it with the fillers. And in decorative cosmetics, again, you can add it with the pigments, but again, you need to take care of the temperature. This is a sample formulation. This is a Kiss formulation, a baobab whip balm. We use allantoin very often in our balms and butters and body melts and waterless products. It works perfectly. It is very easily dispersed, so you don't need really to have any hesitation to use it. In this formulation, we have applied 1% allantoin in the cool down phase with our plant extracts and essential oils. So you melt the butter phase and you start cooling, and as it comes to lower temperature, then you add the heat sensitive ingredients and continue cooling. And then if you want to whip, you will whip the balm. If not, you just fill in the jars. So you blend the allantoin with the heat sensitive ingredients and add it to the balm. And to thank you for your patience, I have a very special offer. This is our 6 months subscription at a very special price just for you, and by using the link that it is here, t1p.de/6 months offer, so you can have access to more in-depth knowledge about cosmetic ingredients, how to use them, how not to use them. Thanks for being with me. I hope you have learned something from this presentation.